Okay, I think let's start. So, as many of you are aware, testing an application before deploying it to the production environment is very important steps. However, the limited availability of resources can pose a challenge. So, in this upcoming session, Zhao Xun, yeah, will introduce us to a powerful tool that effectively addresses this issue. Let's give a warm welcome to Zhao Xun.
Do I have to use that or
Yeah, you can use it.
both of them is
Yeah,
okay?
both of
Yeah.
them.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you for introducing us for me and then everybody. This we on this. Yeah. Pronunciation a little bit awkward. I know that this, but I cannot speak the Chinese is really well. So I'm practicing that. This. How can I say this? A good afternoon, but. Sorry for that, yeah. And though you know that this topic is that there's really some very I know that there's really some kinds of some riot or something like that, but I will be sure that this is really work with this Quark this project does. So I will show that this I will deploy that as a node. It's a 100 node, and then I will deploy this 1000 pod on the 1 gigabyte this RAMs. So before to introduce myself, I can show that this how is this work. Okay. So I prepare to show up to some lab or demo, so I can show that this how is it. Oops. Where is my video? Is this not working? Oops. Okay, technically problem, but yeah, I'm already. Yeah. Okay. I will just. Where is my? Yo. Play. Yeah. Thank you for your help, Pio. Yeah, it's okay. I already recorded this as some clip here. Yeah. The VM is that they are consuming that 1 gigabyte. There's only the one memory. Yeah. So and then I will deploy that this 1000 part under their VM. So yeah, I will deploy it. There is some 9 node. Yes, and then there is so many the scripts I do. Yeah, I prefer to learn that there's a live with some streaming service, live some demo, but there's that there is some kinds of mistake or some Wi-Fi issue, so I'm recording that. So I'm deploying the 1000 part, and then I learned the watch command, and then how is it deploys this goes on, and you can see that this accounting there is a 5000, and then here will be the some up and then reach to that there's a 1001 because that the head columns is there accounting, so there is a 1001. So 1000 part is perfectly working, and then I will delete it at their part, and then it can show up to that they're gonna be to the 0 part very rapidly. So it means that I'm not a liar. I'm not to the some kinds of some kinds of some abusing that. I'm just show up to that really perfectly as my topic. Yeah, that's it. And then back to the some presentation, back to the pitchy. Some introduce myself. You know that I'm the CNCF ambassador. With this my colleague in here, yeah, the Pio. Pio is one of the ambassador in Taiwan too. And I have several some certification. I'm published this several book even in the Korean, but anyhow I'm one of the some little bit special guy for the Kubernetes and Ansible and Python or those kinds of thing, and then ambassadors. So yeah, it looks like I'm a little bit some level 2 that is Kubernetes and a little bit specialty for the Kubernetes thing. Yeah, and is now I will do this what I use that this. You know that the Kubernetes have a SIG. SIG meaning is that the special interest group. There is so many the projects over there. Maybe you are already used that this Kuberspray or kinds of customized as Kuberbuilders. I feel like I'm not sure that, but next session is the CRD, the custom resource definition. There, I'm not sure that, but partially they are used at the Kuba builder or sort of that, because it's really easy to build this with this Kuba builder. So many kinds of very interesting topic, interesting project on the Kubernetes SIG. So one of them is I will tell the some Quark project. Quark. Quark is that? Yes. Yes. The Quark is the Kubernetes without Kubelet is a simulation when thousands of this node and cluster. So I use those kinds of tools, this kinds of purpose that the simulation and without the Kubelet. That's the reason why I can deploy the 1,000 pod on the 1 gigabyte RAM. So I will tell us how is this. I mean this. Yes, Quark is this Kubernetes without the Kubelet, and then I think it is most of person in here is the developer or engineer, so I can show that this how is it working, the VMs deployed and how is it working the builder's lab as a code. So here is a code. I'm really frankly use that as a background, which is really similar to the Terraform. It's a kind of the provisional tool, and then it will be deployed at Ubuntu, and then Ubuntu community reader is in here too. I saw it, over there is in Korea, and then Quark. Yes, the icon is the Quark. So I'm deployed it as a code is like it is. If you feel like if you know about this background file, there are maybe see that this code is very server friendly, but in here there's one VM and it's the one CPU and the memories we're consuming that is over there. And next one is that we're pointing to some version, and then our some code some script is over there. And some Quark builder script is like here. So some of them is some of the line this is hide it because it is not necessary to explain it here. So here is this some script is like some binary is download, and I'm fixing it this binary version is above that 0.3 this point 0.3.0 this the version is should be fixed because I do not want to be the compatibility issue, so I'm fixing it the version and install it. Install meaning it is just download the binary, and I'm installing this with this binary. Is this I just follow to the manual, and it's very easy to deploy it to those kinds of simulators. Some Quark controller cluster, some dash name demo. Just the demo is this context name. And then just change that or just use that the context and apply it to some node. I mean that the node is that here. So you are familiar, if you're at this Kubernetes, you are familiar to the YAML file. This YAML file is like here's. Is this provided by this Quark project? So you can deploy it to whatever you want. How many this node you want to be created? You can use that this kinds of some YAML file. So, and then if you want to be the taint or toleration, those kinds of some configuration on the node, it can be support that in here, the taint configuration in here. And you notice those kinds of repeatedly working some YAML file, it means that in here, yes, in here says there is so many repeatedly these words and there's something like it is in here. It can be swapped, it can be changes if you deploy it at this 1000 node. So it can buy Helm. Yeah, Helm use that so you can be repeatedly working like a templating. So I'm built onto the Helm, and then I will deploy by Helm this 1000 node. Yes. Actually, the Quark project, as far as I know, do not provide those kinds of some rep or some sample code. But that's the reason why I'm a little bit. It's very easy actually. Yeah, I just make it as a Helm chart, and then I will deploy that as my sample. Yeah, Helm. And the demo is this again because it's, as I said at this, I'm really prepared to show up to some demo and how is it working on. So I will show up the demo first. It's deployed at the background. It's okay, yeah. Drop it back. So it's when you deploy it as a new simulation, new rep is it will be consuming that the 10 minutes or so 1 hour is really hard, really boring time, really tired time, but it's only consuming that this approximately 30 minutes or 30 minutes is 15 seconds. So I just background up, and then with this those kinds of script, and the Quark cluster built only consume. I do not expect it is high rate, but you know, is over there is a 30, 20. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will just read that the stuff. So the how is it consuming that 30 minutes and then 21 seconds. Yeah, it will be deployed well, and then that deploys well. We gonna be the how is it working on the some console. So yeah, before I this preparing that, I heard about this, the Wi-Fi is not available in here, so that's the reason why I'm recording. But actually, you know, that just every engineer and developer, we are showing to some live demo, live session. But yeah, but before I said that, as I said, the Wi-Fi is not available here, so that's the reason why I'm recording. So we have to see that there's a recording file. Yeah, a little sorry about that. Anyhow, it's work perfectly because it's already recording. So see that there's so many the script over there. The Quark node actually there's by the some script by the YAML file. There's a nine node is available here. And first I will delete a node. Just delete it. Is this actually simulation purpose? Is it easy to delete? So the third one is the deleted Quark node. The code is it already deployed it by this code, and then just for applied it is delete, and I will check it at the node. There is no any node, and then I already explained it. This I will deploy 100 is a node by ham. So 100 is node deployed by ham, like it is this kinds of some script. I'm already deployed the chart too. So there is a 1000 node is very quickly available, and actually the number is the 1001. As I said, the head is included. Yeah, 1000 node is very quickly work. You know that if you do, in my guess is everybody is already know about this Kubernetes, and then deploy node is really hard to do that, but it's really quick to deploy the 1000 node. And it's now we wanna be testing that this how is it work. So I will deploy this taint configuration because taint or affinity is really easy to some node is working whether or not. So what's my original plan is this, I will ask it what kinds of prepared number or something like that, and then I will apply this number. Yeah, that's the reason why there's a script is like this kinds of build. So somebody said that the 10. Yeah, I will apply the 10. Like it is kinds of some procedure, but you know what? As the Wi-Fi is not available as I thought. So yeah, 10. Yeah, somebody just for in case somebody said a 10. I will apply the 10. So the taint is applied at this the one from the 1 to 10, and then I will deploy at this 100 pod. So it means that you already know that the taint is applied at it cannot be deployed this from the work node 1 to work node 10. There is a deployed without those kinds of taint configuration because there is no toleration just for pod deployed. So many kinds of some work node is working, but it cannot be applied at this from 1 to 10. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, it's I'm really sorry about this. The demo is recording, but I do not lie. Yeah, it's really actually working. Yeah, and then I want to be able to remove that on the taint configuration because for the next demo. So I wanna be maybe it's a little bit tricky or tricks. This thing is I will gonna be able to apply the node label for the H100. H100 is really famous in Taiwan too. Yeah, Korea too. It's globally really famous as a GPU's machine. So yes, I will apply that the 100 is HBAC. This sounds like some car, and then yes, like it's these kinds of some scripting. So it means then I want to be the testing for the affinity. Affinity is, you know that this affinity H100 or some A100, those kinds of things, we can be really careful to use that, or some database or something like that. We can be the supplied really carefully. So I want to be those kinds of tests. So this script is just for scale this to from 0 to 200, because it's I want to be the reassigning. With this, that I will apply it to some label things. Really, label is working whether or not, but the script is just for only the just path. There is no any kinds of affinity, so it'll be deployed at this just for randomly or just schedule weighted. So there are deployed at this within the some 100 is some working node. So yes, there is the working node 4 is there already applied at this I will deploy the path. So we want to testing the affinity. So I'm gonna be at this make it as some affinity path. Yeah, next one is here is that. Yeah. First time delete to this deployed path, and then I will deploy the affinity path. And it will be deployed to that all of them, and then it's gonna be at this zero path on the cluster, and then I will deploy it affinity path. Yes, node affinity is available in here. You know that there is a preference in some accelerators in and Tesla and HVAC. This value is included, so it will be applied within the from 1 to 5. Yeah, because this label is already applied. Yeah. So it will be applied, as I said, at this work node 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna be at the scale to the replicas 210. So it'll be scaled within the 1 to 5. So it's working, right? So yeah, the demo is over. Back to the presentation. Yeah. How many times do I rep? Ah, that's good. Yeah. So it's one of the some conclusion parts. Somebody's a little bit this just a little misunderstanding. The Quark is that just only simulating. It looks like it's really working, and then really some want to be the schedule, want to be do that, but it's only simulator. So it means that even though you are the offline, you do not pull your image from the internet, it work. Yeah, so I want to be these kinds of something to do that only the simulation purpose. It will be really good to that. So I want to say that there's what kinds of purpose to use that. You wanna be that there's you have you on some production, you have a demo stage, or you have a demo some cluster. So that's good to use that. But if you want to be affinity or some anti-affinity or taint toleration or topology spread constraint or sort of there's some scheduling purpose to test is really good too. So if you do not use that the actual cluster, actual really some research, you do not use that. You do not need to use that. You just use that the Quark to schedule really perfectly working. So you just put into your QA pipeline to testing is the affinity or some sort of that some scheduling is working perfectly. You are just using that the Quark, and then it's really get back to well and get back to response really some perfectly working, because previously in here, yeah, that's good timing. Yeah, that's good timing. Oops. Oh, sorry. I cannot capture that this actual screen, but the KWOK, when you are deployed the KWOK, is the image is when you are using the Kuba ADM, so Kuba ADM, there are really actual downloaded image file for the some built on the Kubernetes cluster. KWOK is the same. KWOK downloaded some Kubernetes image file, and then there are built on the actual things to do that. So it means that there are same mechanism for the Kuba scheduler. So KWOK is really good to testing the KWOK schedule and Kubernetes schedulers working as a production level. So I suggest to you that use that just use that tiny resource and for the testing purpose. And plus, last thing is that it's really yeah, it sounds a little bit awkward. So it's really good for the sustainability environment. It's one of the really good. Yeah, well, you feel like it's a little bit strange. Why peers are left and things to do that? We are planning to this year the October 2nd. Yes, we are planning to the sustainability environment week with this the Leo. It's just one of the CNCF some temporary project for the event. So as I said, so you are using the really tiny resource, really tiny some consuming this resource thing, and then testing for the perfectly is save the save the earth, save the environment things to do that. So one of the thing is that appears stop to working. I also stay yeah. So save the earth or save the some environment thing is this, or some also same as that some cost, optimize the cost. You don't use that as some actual resource actual thing is this a cost optimizing or some pin-ups things. So I'm suggest to use that as a KWOK or some of the sort of the SIG project to build on your some Kubernetes lab or Kubernetes environment or sort of the CNC project is better to use that. That's one of my presentation purpose that. And then thank you for listening that. Thank you for yeah. Yeah, I really hard the translation. I'm not pretty not sure that, but I double checked that it is really yeah, meaning that. Thank you. Yeah.
Can we open?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Time. Yeah.
So we open some. Okay.
KWOK, I think is like a very, very light mini cube, right?
Thank you for your really good questions. The mini cube, and then it is a little bit different. The mini cube is really actual working, and then there can be the exposure by the proxy, but the KWOK cannot be exposure the pod to the service. It cannot be just for show up to the exposure
That's
working, but it cannot be it cannot be checked by the car or any kinds of a tool to the service is really working whether or not. So Minikube and different. But as far as I know, Minikube is good too, but Minikube is really differentiation between it as actual Kubernetes. So yeah, Minikube is just for only, in my personal opinion, Minikube working well. Somebody who is really good to know about the Kubernetes and the one person to use it. So Minikube is cannot be shared really well, and then it cannot be a little bit translated to when some resource to the some actual the Kubernetes Minikube have to be a little bit translation. So I just suggest if you use that the Minikube, it's should be know about this really.
Sorry, continue my
It's
question.
okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
If in Quark, you can export.
Quark is I know that's
KWOK.
really hard to
Okay.
translation.
If we can, the service cannot be exported. How do you test your application?
First I said this is the Quark project doesn't say that any kinds of some usage or best practice, but in my personal view, this Quark is really good to testing the schedule. You know that there's a Kubernetes is the API server and Kuba controller, Kuba scheduler, and many kinds of things as a mingle as a MSA architecture. So Kuba scheduler is one of the some very good point for the some developer perspective, as I said, as I feel. So Kuba scheduler testing purpose is really good for the using that some Quark, and also the code level is the service code YAML is working, whether or not it can test, because they said that it's working or not, so it can be testing purpose. So sounds like some simulation purpose.
Does anyone have another question? Okay.
I want to know the implementation under the hood. I want to know how many pods inside the 1 gigabyte VM and to run. And do you know the actual numbers?
It's a really good question. The question is that how many pods is deployed in on the 1 gigabyte? It's a really embarrassing question. I already I can express just my experience. I'm already some presentation. This slide is in the Korea's community session, and then I mistake to deploy the 10,000 par to the 1 gigabyte, and then the rev is corrupted and rev is hang. I cannot be moved further. The whole session that is already recording that, so I cannot be testing this more than the 1,000. But I'm pretty sure that the 10,000 the rev is corrupted. Rev is all gone. Everything is freezing. I cannot be do anything to do. The API server doesn't respond at all. So there is an API server exists too, because I said that it's the same as the Kubernetes cluster. API server doesn't respond at all. So I'm pretty sure that it can be between the 1,000 10,000. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, nice question. Let's open one more question. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, no. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Can we use Kubernetes service to use the load balance to the certain parts if you want to test the application, like the previous man talked about? How close to your cloud cluster to the real world Kubernetes clusters built by the Kubernetes?
First, it's a really good question. The Quark is, you know that there's a Kubernetes have many of the service is a node port or some node port. Sorry? Yeah, load balancer and cluster IP sort of that is several some service. There is a port type. There is this external something like that. That looks like a service, but anyhow, there is a port type of the service. So, but I sort of some of the issue or there's a tracking. There's some code thing is there I want to be the developer of the service level for the simulation purpose. But currently, I feel like when I deployed it, there's some part and want to be exposure, but it cannot be reached to the part from the outside of the cluster. So it means that the service is checking the like some binary 0 or 1. It can be work whether or not, but it cannot be working really so reach to the endpoint. So currently is not a good way to checking the services or some properly working. Is it okay to you? This yep.
Okay, nice.
But I hopefully this will be working in the future, probably, but I'm not sure that.
Okay, nice. Okay, so let's end off our session. And let's thank you again for
Yeah,
Jin Hong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.